Let me tell you guys about BellyUpSports. BellyUpSports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. BellyUpSports is the premier, not your average website. This weekend, Champions League final, Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. How they got here. Obviously, Real Madrid, winners of their group, which was Group C. They beat out Napoli, Braga, and Union Berlin. Didn't lose a single match in the group stages. And then Borussia Dortmund, man, winners of Group F, which was the group of death. They had PSG, AC Milan, and Newcastle United in that group. And they were able to win. It went down to some very narrow margins, but did have 3 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in that span of matches. And then when we get to the the round of 16, Real Madrid had the face-off against RB Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund against PSV. Both of them won their matches. I would say a tale of 2 different matches, because I think Real Madrid, it was a very, I would say, overwhelming victory against RB Leipzig, whereas Dortmund just kind of handled their business and won outright. Didn't make it even feel close. And then the quarterfinals, Real Madrid was faced off against Man City, a team that many would have gone back to the final. I honestly felt like that should have been the final, was Real Madrid and Manchester City. But we got them in the quarterfinals, and it did not disappoint. It went all the way down to penalties. Real Madrid went ahead and won in pens. Borussia Dortmund, I feel, got the daunting challenge of going up against Atletico Madrid, and they held their own. Man, they lost in the first leg 2-1, but ended up winning the second leg 4-2 to advance on to the semifinals. I think that was the shift that was the momentum shift that Borussia Dortmund needed to move on, to beat a team like Atletico Madrid. And then in the semifinals, Real Madrid took on Bayern Munich, beat them 4-3 in a very controversial second leg. Say what you want, but it's kind of what sums up Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid in the Champions League. And then Borussia Dortmund having to go up against PSG, a team that many people felt that this is their last shot at winning a Champions League, and thought that they had the easiest path to do so. But Dortmund 1-0 both matches. Defensive performance, and I think rightfully so. Like I said, I think they took a lot from that Atletico Madrid matchup. I think they took learned a lot from that matchup and applied it to themselves, especially against PSG. And now here we are, the final. Borussia Dortmund, with the amazing bounce-back story of Jadon Sancho, the farewell tour for Marco Rose. This is Marco Rose's final match as a player for Borussia Dortmund. Where he goes after is going to be definitely the story to follow this summer. Jadon Sancho probably be also another story to follow this summer. But Borussia Dortmund making a return to the Champions League final and going up against Real Madrid, a team that is undefeated in Champions League finals, a team that also has their own story with Jude Bellingham having his first season be what it is, scoring more goals than anybody ever thought could happen, facing his former team and playing in his home country, as well as Jadon Sancho. But obviously the other story is with Real Madrid is that they did this with the injuries of David Alaba, with the injuries of Eder Militao, with the injury of Thibaut Courtois. And I believe that there is some news that Tchouaméni will not be playing in this game. I think he got hit with a slight injury, so he probably is not going to play, which kind of, not really, but kind of does hurt Real Madrid, because there is the statistic that Real Madrid has yet to have lost when Tchouaméni is in the lineup, when Tchouaméni is starting in the game. So I don't know how strong that rumor is, but the rumor is there. The question also is that is Real Madrid going to start Lunin, who's been playing all year, filling in for Thibaut Courtois, or will Courtois be starting? I think that that's a very important one. Obviously, Courtois has a lot of experience, but I think Lunin has earned the right to be in the final. That's just my thoughts, but we'll see what happens, man. But I'm really excited about this final, man. I think these are two really good storylines to come in here and face off in a really good final. Obviously, Tony Cruz now is the news story too. Tony Cruz has announced his retirement. After the Euro, he's officially no longer he's retiring from the game. So that is going to be another one to follow. Can he end his time as a footballer with another Champions League trophy, which I really hope that that's the case because Tony Cruz is an amazing player, ahead of his definitely the epitome of what you want from a midfielder. Amazing vision, amazing passing ability, just all in all, just the perfect definition of what you want from an eight. Um, and I think he's going to be missed, but I think Real Madrid obviously has an exciting young core of midfielders that it's going to be a really good time. But yeah, Tony Cruz, man, just what a player. Um, it is crazy to think that with him gone, it's going to be just Luka Modric and Danny Carvajal. So the last of that amazing team of Real Madrid. Um, so what does Borussia Dortmund have to do to win? I think it's it. I think a lot of it's going to be of how they defend Vinicius Jr. I think um I think Dortmund did a really good job at defending Kylian Mbappe, and I think it's probably going to be the similar approach. It's just that on the other, the thing is like while you're keeping the wings quiet, you also have to worry about that midfield, and I think that's a little bit different from PSG. I think the midfield is going to be the real threat. For Dortmund on this one. So it's going to be on how well they defend that midfield. Because I think with the midfield, depending on who's in that midfield, that's where if you try to take out the wings with Rodrigo and Vinicius, then you have that midfield of a combination of Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni if he's playing, with Tony Cruz or Luka Modric, Jude Bellingham, like however they set up that midfield it is going to be how do you keep them quiet while also trying to keep the wings quiet. So I think that that's going to be the point of emphasis for Borussia Dortmund is how are they going to keep not only the wings quiet but also try to mitigate any ball movement from the midfield. For Real Madrid, it's going to be um, honestly is trying to find a chink in that armor because Borussia Dortmund pretty good defensively, especially right now in recent games. There's a lot of confidence going in from that BVB wall. So Real Madrid is going to be where do they find that weak spot in that armor of Borussia Dortmund? Um, like I said, for Borussia Dortmund is for them defending, keep defending until they finally get their shot. Whereas Real Madrid is keep pressing and get their shot. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. I think that we're going to see Borussia Dortmund be more on the defensive side. I think Real Madrid's definitely going to have majority of the possession of this match. The question is going to be, can Real Madrid find their opening and pounce on it? So, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I would love to say that this is going to be a battle, but I think that this is going to be a very comfortable 2-0 victory for Real Madrid. That's just me, obviously, also biased along with bias because I am a Madrista. But I can't wait, man. This is going to be an exciting final. Uh, Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid. But once again, Real Madrid is undefeated in Champions League finals. So I obviously I have not only my bias, but that streak is so important to me. But maybe Dortmund could be that team to finally end the streak. Who knows, man? It's kind of hard for me, man, because obviously I'm a Madridista, but Marco Reus is just an amazing player. And I would love to see him finally have some success, but not against my team. So there is that.